What is up, guys and girls, and welcome to my very first Football Manager 20 experiment. And as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, we're going to look at how the Premier League finished in the first season. There's no editor out at the minute because this is being done in the beta, so there's no way we can change anything. So it's literally just going to see how it plays out within the game. Now, because it's a beta, it may be different from the full game, but I just wanted to get this one out there. So if we just click, you can see that down the bottom of the table, there's not much different to what we'd expect. Obviously, you got Norwich went down, Sheffield United went down, but Aston Villa managed to stay up, sending Watford down. This, at the top of the table though, this is where it's more surprising because Arsenal, of all the teams, won the Premier League in 2019-20 season. Only by 1 point, pipping Man City to the title. And Liverpool finished 6 points behind them with a much better goal difference. It's quite interesting to see Arsenal, of all teams, finishing top of the pile. I mean, Man United finishing fourth is quite an achievement. But anyway, let's go and check why Arsenal finished top. So as we can see here, Arsenal didn't bring anyone in the 19-20 season. They did have 3 players leave the club though. Matt Macey went to QPR, Toby Amole went to Leyton Orient, and Robbie Burton to Port Vale. So let's look at some of their results. So they had a mixed friendly period, losing 4 and winning 5 friendly, so it's pretty mixed. They lost their first Premier League home game, which was the first Premier League game of the season, against Chelsea, 4-2. But then they went on an unbeaten run all the way through till October the 6th, where they lost at home again to West Ham. So they were unbeaten for 8 games, a couple of Europa League games and EFL Cup games there as well. And then they went on another unbeaten run from the 19th of October all the way through to the 18th of December, where they lost in the EFL Cup quarter-final against Man United. But I would probably say that that's not going to be too big of a deal for them because they look like they're going for the Premier League. The next game they lost was against Chelsea again, this time away, 1-0 in the Premier League. So Chelsea certainly seem like their bogey team. They beat Man United 2-0 in the FA Cup third round, and they beat them at home 1-0 in the Premier League as well. If we look at cancelling out cup games, so they went 8 on the bounce without losing there, 17 games unbeaten between 6th of October and the 28th of January. 18 games unbeaten till the end of the season after that. So they only lost 3 games. They lost to Chelsea twice and West Ham once. So pretty good season for them. So let's take a look at Liverpool. So they had a half decent friendly schedule. They won the UEFA Super Cup. They won the FA Community Shield on penalties against Man City. Their Premier League campaign got off to a 1-1 draw against Burnley at Turf Moor. Then they went on to beat Leicester 3-2 before 2 consecutive losses against Manchester United and Brighton in the Premier League. They then went unbeaten all the way through September, all the way through October, all the way through November until mid-December in the Champions League. But they didn't lose in the Premier League until Arsenal, which was a 1-0 loss at home. Then they lost to Man United. So it looks to me like Liverpool suffered because of their bad start. Although they have got a couple of losses here. Arsenal, they lost to. Tottenham, they've lost to there. And Watford would have been a bad team to lose to, considering they got relegated. Man United. So a fair few losses there from Liverpool, which would have cost them massively. Liverpool bought in Sergej Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio for £107 million. That is a big outlay. I mean, he looks 25-year-old Serbian. He looks worth it. He looks pretty decent. But for that amount of money, 107 million, they only brought in £58,000, sending Isaac Christie-Davis to Accrington Stanley, possibly going up to 58k on his own. Ben Winterbottom to Rochdale for 11.5, and then 2 loans. Andy Lonergan going to Portsmouth and Kenzie Lyle going to Bristol Rovers. So yeah, that's a massive outlay, and obviously it didn't pay off too well. So let's have a look at Man City, who came runners up. They had a very good friendly period, losing to Liverpool as we've already discussed in the FA Community Shield. They had a good run with the Premier League, didn't lose till the end of October, which was against Chelsea. Chelsea seem to have got some big wins. It'd be interesting to see who they've lost to, because they're the only team to beat Arsenal, who won the league. They beat Liverpool. They've beaten Man City. They didn't lose from the 29th of October in the Premier League all the way through to Liverpool in March. So that's a massive run of games that they didn't lose. They lost 3-1 to Bayern Munich in the Champions League first knockout round, but won on aggregate in the second leg. So Man City lost one Premier League game all season. Chelsea was the only team to beat Man City last season. So the draws must have cost them. They drew against Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, Manchester United, Watford, Everton, Chelsea, Arsenal and Watford. There's a lot of draws there, and that's obviously what's cost them in the league. Let's have a look at their transfer history. They didn't bring anyone in. They didn't bring anyone in that season, and they brought £4.9 million in by sending Mix Diskerud to Derby County for a fee possibly going up to £6 million. And then we've got Garcia, who's gone out on loan to Nordsland, Nemecha to Bolton, Atuna to Girona, Doyle to Brentford, Burnaby to Nordsland as well, and Carlo Poveda to Strømsgodset on loan. So there you go, guys. A little bit of a surprise winner in the first season on Football Manager 2020. I was surprised. Not so surprised about the relegation. I mean, Watford are doing really badly in the Premier League now anyway, in real life. But yeah, Aston Villa managed to stay up, and it'll be quite interesting to sort of see how the Premier League finishes come what, May or June. But Arsenal winning is certainly a massive surprise. I don't think anyone saw that coming. I certainly didn't. The next video in this series is going to be 5 years into the future, and we're going to have a look, see what's changed in the Premier League then. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you coming. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future experiments and uploads I do. You've been great. I've been Kylex. Peace out.